am Dr. K. Anuradha, Professor and Head of CSC Department at Gokaraju Rangaraju Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now I want to explain about Chomsky's hierarchy of language. It is there in formal languages and automated theory, which is a prerequisite for compiler design. And here we have to discuss 4 different types of grammars, 4 different types of languages, and 4 different types of languages. Here the lowest level of language is regular language, and the machine which generates this language is called finite state automata, and it is also called type 3 grammar. And the drawbacks of this language is it has no memory. That's why the next highest level to it is context free language, and the machine which generates this language is called push down automaton. Here it has memory, but it cannot accept all the languages. So if you take the next highest level to it is context sensitive language, and the machine which generates this language is called linear bounded automata. Again it has some drawbacks. It can accept only the language A power n, B power n, C power n, but it cannot accept all the this one, like it cannot compute n factorial, and it cannot compute 2 power n like that. That's why it has some drawbacks. So the next highest level is the machine is Turing machine. The language generated by this machine is called unrestricted language, or the recursively enumerable language, and the grammar corresponding to it is unrestricted grammar. And here the highest level of all these machines is Turing machine. It can accept any, it is like a computer, it can accept all. That's why this is the highest level. So first we will discuss the first machine, that is called finite state automata. Here this is the diagrammatical representation of finite automata. Here it has three components. One is input tape, the other one is reading head, and the third one is finite control. The input tape is divided into squares. Each square consists of a single symbol from the input alphabet sigma. And reading head, the head examines only one square at a time and moves one square either to the left or to the right. Next, finite control. The input to the finite control will be usually the symbol under the R head, say small a, or the present state of the machine, say Q. Next, a motion of R head along the tape to the next square. The next state of the finite state machine is given by delta of Q, A. The first machine is finite state automata. Here the language which is generated by this machine is regular language, and the grammar corresponding to this machine is regular grammar. Here the regular grammar is like G is any grammar in flat is represented as G is equal to VTPS, where V is the set of all non-terminals, T is the set of all terminals, P is the set of all productions, and S is the start symbol of the grammar. Here if we consider in this regular grammar, the productions are all are of the form A goes to WB or A goes to BW. Means there are two types of regular grammar. So it is they are either right linear grammar or left linear grammar. Right linear grammar means there should be only one non-terminal in the production, and that should be at the right end. Left linear grammar means here it also consists of only one non-terminal. It should be at the left end. So regular grammar means it can be either right linear or it can be either left linear. Here the drawback of this grammar is it cannot accept the language like L is equal to A power n, B power n, such that n greater than or equal to 1, because it has no memory to store the values ABs. That's why the next highest level to it is push down automata. Here this is the model of the push down automata. It is like finite automata, and only one extra thing is here in infinite stack. So using this stack we can store the symbols A's and B's in the stack. So here this language, this is finite automata plus stack. That is push down automata is nothing but finite automata plus one stack. This stack is used to store the symbols, means it is used for memory purpose. So here with this push down automata, it can accept the languages like L is equal to A power n, B power n, or L is equal to A power n, B power n, C power n, D power n. And again here the drawback is it cannot accept the languages like L is equal to a set of A power n, B power n, C power n, such that n greater than or equal to 1. It can accept either A and B or A, B, C, D, but it cannot accept symbols A, B, C. That is the drawback of push down automata. Next, the grammar which generates this automata is called context-free grammar. Here, context-free grammar is also like G is equal to VTPS, where V is the set of non-terminals, P is the set of productions, S is the start symbol. The difference between the regular grammar and context-free grammar is there should be only non-terminal in the right hand side. There should not be more than 2 non-terminals in the right hand side. But if you take the productions of context-free grammar, all are in the form of A goes to alpha, where alpha is the set of non-terminals and terminals. Here we can take any number of non-terminals and terminals in the right hand side. But in the left hand side, there should be only one non-terminal in case of either regular grammar or context-free grammar. So here it can accept all the languages like L is equal to A power n, B power n, C power n, D power n, like that it can accept. So the next automata is, so some drawbacks are there in the push down automata. What is the drawback is here, even though it is having memory like stack, but it cannot accept the language L is equal to A power n, B power n, C power n. Next, if you go to the next higher level linear bounded automata, it can accept A power n, B power n, C power n also. That is the advantage of this. Here it has read write head. It can move either to the left or to the right. But in case of regular languages and context-free grammar languages, if you take the models of those two machines, the reading head can move only one side, that is either to the left or to the right. But in case of linear bounded automata, the reading head, the read write head can move either to the left or to the right. That is the one important point here we have to consider. And the other important point is here it can read as well as it can write. That's why this is called read write head. Whereas if you take the models of finite automata and push down automata, that is only read head. It can only read one symbol at a time using read head, but it cannot replace whatever symbol which is there in the input tape. But here the advantage of this is it has read write head and it can move both sides. So with this concept, it can accept the languages like L is equal to A power n, B power n, C power n, such that n greater than or equal to 1. Even though it is accepting this particular language L is equal to A power n, B power n, C power n, but the drawback of this linear bounded automata is it cannot calculate 2 power n for some n or n factorial or like that computations it cannot do. That's why the next highest level of machine is, this is the highest level among all the 4 machines. That is nothing but Turing machines. It is like a computer. It can do anything whatever you want. So here it has like the model of this Turing machine is like same, but here it is also read write head like linear bounded automata. And here the read write head can move either to the left or to the right, and it can replace the existing symbol. So here using this Turing machine we can do any computational like 2 power n, n factorial and all. Next, the grammar which is generated by this machine is called unrestricted grammar. Here if you take already we have completed one grammar, that is linear bounded automata. The grammar is context sensitive grammar. In that the productions are of the form alpha goes to beta, such that mod alpha. So here mod alpha is less than or equal to mod beta. Here there is a restriction such that the left hand side length must be less than or equal to the right hand side. So if you take the previous grammars, they're like regular grammar and context free grammar, the left hand side also there is a restriction, that is there should be only one non-terminal at the left hand side. But here if you take the context sensitive grammar which is generated by the linear bounded automata, there is no such type of restriction in the left hand side. We can take any number of terminals and non-terminals in the left hand side. But here the restriction is that the length of the left hand side must be less than or equal to the length of the right hand side. Here there is a restriction. That's why we will go to the next machine. That is the next machine is Turing machine. It is the highest level of machine among all the 4 machines. Here the grammar which is generated by this machine is called unrestricted grammar. Here there are no restrictions in the productions. Here we can take G is equal to VTBS, where P is the set of all productions like alpha goes to beta. But here there is no restriction on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. But if you take linear bounded automata context sensitive grammar, there is a restriction already we know, that is mod alpha must be less than or equal to mod beta. Here there is no such type of restriction in unrestricted grammar. That's why the grammar name itself is unrestricted grammar, means there are no restrictions either on the left hand side or on the right hand side. That's why this is the top level grammar. So here this grammar is recognized by the Turing machine. It also consists of a read-write head that can be positioned anywhere along an infinite tape, and it is also a useful class of language for compiler design. So this is the description about the Chomsky's hierarchy of languages. The main advantage of studying this here among all the 4 grammars, the important grammar to design a compiler is context-free grammar. So the prerequisite for compiler design is formal languages and automata theory. Unless you know the concepts of formal languages and automata theory, and without knowing context-free grammar, we can't study compiler design. That's why to study compiler design thoroughly, we need to know formal languages and automata theory. Okay, thank you.